many, many contributions, many more than we could share on air, was that it wasn't just the visual that people took away, but the stories that they attached to the trees.
Yes. Well, trees have a social life, and they make social lives, and they transpire not only oxygen but also songs and stories, and we heard them there. Those I was so struck listening to Annabelle's about those little scenes. The school children gathered under the tree, the workers taking a break in its shade. These are very old gifts that those trees are giving, and the little bit of shelter that they give, and people gather there and people talk, and it goes almost unremarked in daily life, and yet it's happening millions and millions of times a day.
Yes, and Isabella, when they're older than us, in some cases much, much older, it puts us in perspective, doesn't it? How small we are in comparison with everything they've seen.
Absolutely, and I loved Fiona Green from Derbyshire, the Methodist preacher who kicked off this series, who talked about trees being differently alive to us. And I think that's just wonderful, that sense that trees have a much longer perspective and so much more to teach us about ecology and sort of a sense of perspective and looking into the future and to generations ahead.
They can actually make us emotional, can't they, Robert? That was certainly one. There were some very poignant stories that emerged from the trees that we heard about.
Yeah, and this tradition, I think one of the wonderful things about what we've heard over the past month is hearing people take flight into a kind of lyricism, into a very open-hearted account of what trees have meant, might mean to them. And this goes all the way back. The earliest written story we have in literature is the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's about 4,500 years old in its oldest form, and it's a story of tree felling, of deforestation. Enkidu and Gilgamesh go and cut down the sacred cedarwood, but before they get there, they stop on its brink, and they are amazed by the cedars. There's this beautiful moment in the epic, which is then followed by the flip side of our relationship with trees, which is their devastation, their execution, their raising. So it's all there from the beginning.
Isabella, on that, I wonder if you have any advice, whether you both have any advice about planting and care, the kinds of things that might avoid getting into the kinds of situations that Sheffield found itself in. I mean, that was the tree felling there